What is going on? What is going on, faithful? It is your boy Niner Sickness coming to you with the N.W.A. podcast. How are you guys doing? I apologize for coming a little bit late. I do apologize for coming in a little bit late. I had to take care of some things, but here we are. We're ready to talk. We're ready to talk some 49er football. We are definitely going to have some fun. So, are you ready? Are you guys ready to talk some 49er football? I got my boy, the Boston hater himself, that will be joining me tonight, and we're going to get this party started. Tom, welcome. Don, welcome. Once again, I apologize for the delayed start. This is why it's so important to make sure that you have your notifications on, so that you will be notified when we go on. All right, with no further ado, let me bring in my boy, Mr. Boston Hater himself. Give me a second. Let me get the right channel. Here we go. Boom. Okay, adjust. How you doing, Boston Hater? You got to adjust the camera. You. Thank you, sir.
All right. How is everybody? I think we only got a couple of people here with us right now, huh?
Yeah, they're popping in.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. Yeah, I was having the internet was, I couldn't go online hardwired. It was it wanted to go only go on wireless. Wi-Fi, I should say. So I got to do it. It was weird. But anyway, here we are. Like the saying goes, it's better late than never. How's everybody doing tonight? Welcome to the N.W.A. podcast. Me and Boston Hater and Florida Mike that is not able to be with us. He is celebrating an anniversary with his wife. So happy anniversary to Florida Mike and his beautiful wife. And E-Man is at work taking care of business. So with that, what else can you want? You guys have the Boston Hater himself live. So I'm pretty sure he'll do fine. How's your week there, Boston Hater?
It was good. You know, a lot of work, a lot of hours at work, 4 16-hour shifts in 5 days. So ended up being something like, darn near like a 72-hour work week for me. So yeah, it was kind of taxing, but overall, everything went well. So I have no complaints. I got personal hellos here from Tom and Dawn, so I'm gonna give you guys a hello. And also I want to wish Mike and his wife, I know they're celebrating early, but a happy anniversary. So yeah, with that, that's all I want to say in the opening. So let's get to it.
Sounds good, brother. Yeah, we're definitely gonna have some fun tonight. We're gonna be talking a little bit of as you guys already know, we are in the off season. We are on the off season. So the Niner season's over, 2020 is over, but the N.W.A. podcast is just getting started. We're definitely going to be talking so many things, not just necessarily today, but going forward. Our shows on Monday and on Friday, 7 p.m., we will always bring you content. One of the topics of the offseason so far is Robert Saleh and the possibility of him going to a team, one of the teams that has a vacancy in their head coaching position. He has been interviewed, I believe, by every team out there except the Texans, if I'm correct. And I think the Texans is bringing their own coach from Boston.
Actually, it was a GM that they got from the Patriots.
Yeah, but he's bringing the offensive coordinator McDaniels with him. That's why Texas. That's why Texas.
He wasn't too bright,
No, I know, but that's why the Texas hasn't interviewed anybody. Think about it. They haven't interviewed anybody.
I mean, you know, that kind of pushes us toward the elephant in the room. And
Yes, it does, and we'll talk about that as well. Yes,
Mhm.
it definitely does, man. So many things going on over there, but yes, there's one person back there in Houston that is not happy of everything that's taking place.
Yeah, and I know we're jumping the gun because he has not requested a trade. He has
Correct.
just voiced that he is not pleased with what's happening there. And I'm pretty confident that if they were to just throw the old offensive coordinator that was a wonderful GM and head coach over there in Denver at one point in time, uh he's not going to be too happy about that either.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. There's going to be a lot of things going on. And like you said, we can only speculate. Nothing has really. He hasn't said anything, so we're going to have to wait and see what happens there with Houston. But it does look like there's a little bit of turmoil there for sure, and they
Yeah.
better get their acts together because they're just a hot mess over there. You thought we had a bad situation with hurt players, not even close to what they're going through, and all that's
No.
self-inflicted. To be honest with
Mhm.
you, all of what
Yeah,
they're going is self-inflicted.
just bad decision making on the part of you know basically, how it goes. Team reflects leadership. And if the leader of the Texans, that owner, he is always always making some not so brilliant move. So
Yeah.
yeah, so here we go. He's at it again.
Yep. That's how they work, man. Some organizations will never get it together, man, and then you wonder why they struggle the way they do, why they can't be competitive in the NFL. It's because it all starts from the top. If you don't structure
Yeah.
it properly from the top, it trickles down all the way to the bottom, man, and it's hard to catch up.
Yeah, it's virtually impossible. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely, it is. So, but is their dilemma, not ours. We have our own that we have to concern ourselves about. And um, the situation with Robert Sala, as I brought on a few minutes ago, also all our free agents, who will be back, who shouldn't be back, and who are the priorities. Now, I'm pretty sure the Boston Hitter and myself, we are in accordance of who the priorities are. But I want to see you guys in the comments. Who do you think the Niners should sign first? And then from there on, we say
Yeah,
there's two priorities in our books, right, Boston
eh,
Hitter?
yes, but when we say our priorities, it's re-signing those that are already a part of our
No, yeah, we're
organization.
not talking
We're not
nobody.
talking
Yeah, we're not
about
talking about coming
anybody
from
on
that.
the outside yet,
Correct.
because I'm already seeing comments that are
Oh, I didn't see that.
leading toward that when it says Florida Mike's wish may come true. I know what that means.
Oh,
So,
got you.
but
No, no, no,
let's
no.
yeah,
Yeah,
let's not get to that yet. But yeah,
let's keep it in house. Before I care about anybody on the outside coming in, regardless who that possible person can be. I want to take care of our own because we know what we have in our own, and that should be our top priority. So, Roberto Hastings says Trent Williams. That's good. Tom says Trent. Eric says Trent. Eric should go back to work. I'm just kidding.
Eric.
Eric's my boy. Yesterday was my mom's 40th birthday, says Don.
Yeah,
Well,
that's not Don. That's actually Jayla commenting on Don's.
oh, is it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So,
Okay.
so happy belated birthday, Don. I believe I wished you happy birthday on my other thing before. So anyway, here on the N.W.A. podcast,
Yeah,
happy belated birthday, everyone! If you guys can wish Dawn a happy belated birthday,
definitely.
she is
Happy belated birthday, Don.
40 years young.
Um, I see people commenting Trent Williams, and somebody said Fred Warner and said he wasn't a free agent. It's true that he's not a free agent, but
Yeah,
I
but
pose this question to anybody. Let's put you in Fred Warner's shoes. You have done nothing but get exponentially better year after year. You were a first team all pro, and You have 1 year left on a third-round draft pick deal.
Yeah.
Do you step foot on the field without a new deal next year? This is the first year you can actually negotiate for something.
Yep.
They're probably gonna be put in a position where they don't have a choice but to address Fred Warner. So, I know you say he's not a free agent, but
He isn't. You're right.
he can create a lot of havoc
Yes.
just by saying, "Till I get a new deal, I'm not playing."
Yeah.
So,
To your point,
do you really want to be known as a team that's going to just ignore people who I mean, he does everything asked of him, and he does it well. He's good off the field and on the field. This is one of those guys that you wanna take care of. I personally identify him as one of the core players of this franchise, and I expect for them to keep him. It's not somebody that I'm looking for them to move off of like they did DeForest Buckner. I actually totally agree with that, and I don't see anything wrong with it to this day. I have no problem with what they did on that. But yeah, Fred's gonna have to be taken care of most likely, and he's probably not going to play the game of, oh yeah, well, yeah, he's gonna want to cash in. Now, the only thing that might be a saving grace is that it's gonna be hard to really push the envelope the way that he may want to because of the major drop in the salary cap. Because of that, the money might not be where he wants it to be, and that's the only possibility that could push him into playing on his current contract another year.
Yeah, it makes sense.
So,
And that's the same thing for Trent Williams. Kind of falls,
yeah,
even though he is a free agent, but it kind of falls in
yeah,
the same kind of boat where, because of this year, what we're going with the salary cap and how it's been reduced down, um, is he really going to get his full value out there? Or does he want to sign a 1 year tender with us and then try to see where he test the waters next year to have a
mhm.
better opportunity to get what he thinks he's worth? And he is worth a lot, by the way.
Yeah, he's offensive tackle, elite, top of the league. North of $20 million a year.
Yep.
So, if he's really looking to max out that contract, it's probably not the time for it. With the salary cap going the way it is, he might not get his due. There's going to be a lot. It's really going to be interesting the way the free agent thing is going to go this year because there's just going to be so many people that are out there looking to get their pay, and teams are just going to be looking at them and shrugging their shoulders like, we can't do that. And there's probably going to be a lot of guys out there signing a bunch of 1 year deals.
Yep. Yep. I agree. Eric says, and that's your comment. I appreciate that. Well, outside of Trent, then I would say Juice. I would kind of argue that a little bit. I think Jason Burnett will be a priority at corner. The way he played this year,
Absolutely.
I mean, he had no pass rushers going after the quarterback, and he kind of locked down on his receiver. Imagine with a good offensive front going after the quarterback, and he's locking those receivers. Ooh, that matchup is going to be nice. Juice, even though I love Juice, I've learned to love. I'm not a big fullback guy. Boston Hater will tell you. I've grown to love Juice. I think Juice does phenomenal for us in our offense and the blocking, the way they utilize him. But we cannot afford to pay him what he wants. If he's willing to take a discount to play in this offense for Kyle Shanahan, I can think of that. But I don't know if it's worth paying him what he wants. What's your thoughts on that, Boston Hater?
I think it's absolutely worth paying him what he's worth.
Wow. Okay.
Well, no. Hold on. I didn't say he was worth what he was making.
Okay.
Yeah, no fullback is worth what Kyle Juszczyk was making. Kyle Juszczyk got that contract from an organization that was in shambles.
Yep.
That was the Houston Texans of 2017, basically.
Yeah.
And they really turned things around by bringing in Kyle and John Lynch, and it's a whole new culture now. So if he wants that kind of money, maybe he can get it in Houston. But you know, the likelihood of him getting anything near that, because Kyle Juszczyk makes double what any fullback in the NFL makes. Yeah. So for him to come back down and even be the highest paid fullback basically cuts his salary in almost half. Is he worth that? Probably. Yeah, and I would have no problem signing him for that.
For the half of what he's making now.
Yeah, right about half. Might be just slightly more than half. And he would still be the highest paid fullback in the NFL.
Yeah. And you're right. He took an opportunity in a time and place where this offense, this team was in shambles, like Boston Harrier said. So Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch, they had to pull teeth to bring players to come and play here. It's not like it was, attractive as it is now. Now players want to come in. But it wasn't when they took over the mess that was left behind by a GM that I'm not even going to mention his name or worthy to be mentioned, to clean up. And so he was paid twice or triple what a fullback is getting paid. He's done great for us, but even then, it's not worth what he got paid. But props to him. An opportunity came up. The team was desperate, and he walked through the door. So I'm not mad at Juice or the situation with the Niners. They had to do what they had to do, but we can't continue to pay him now more than, like Boston Hater said, half of what he. And you said even if he goes half, he still gets paid more than all the fullback. Now keep this in mind. What other teams really use a fullback as much as he will get used here with the Niners? I mean, I'm pretty sure there are some teams.
But only two or three of them.
Yeah, so he needs to take that into consideration too. Does he want to go to a team and get the more money and then just play like 12 snaps?
Yes.
Well, he's already rich. It's not like he's hurting financially.
Yeah, see, I think
he wants to get a ring too.
I think a lot of people miss this concept. A ring. You know what? You know what people do when they come into the NFL? The vast majority of them look at, okay, I'm thinking I can play for, and I'm just going to make up a number here. This is not usually, it's not necessarily the hard line way. I got a 10-year career in front of me. I'm in year 5. I want a fat payday one last time, because when you first come in, you get that rookie deal. It's the amount of money you can make is restricted. So you got these talented players that come into the league, and some of them really productive in those first 3 to 5 years. And they're not really making much compared to players producing similar to them. And so rookies are exploited for that reason. And that's why the draft is so beneficial for many teams. But you come in there and you got this 10-year window is the way you see it. Well, at least for about 8 of those, I want to maximize the dollar. Okay. After that, once you've made your money, now if you don't have a championship, that's when they start looking at that. Kyle Juszczyk is not at the end of the rope. He's probably thinking, if someone out there is going to pay me overpay me like they did before, I'm probably going to bite. Maybe he'll take a shorter deal. Maybe it'll just be 2 years. But it's a business at the end of the day. We're fans. We look at it like, oh, he should take less money. Get out of here. Anybody that says a guy should take less money is out of their mind. I want you to take a 20% pay cut and be happy and go to your job. You're not just going to volunteer for that. That's insane. Yeah, but really and truly, sometimes they start looking at, I'd like to have that championship, but usually by that time, they're kind of at the tail end of their career. Usually their skill set is tapering off. I get it. I understand. So, but for us as fans, we need to realize we're fans. We want what's best for the team. Each one of these guys on this team is an basically an individual um, commodity, and they have to market themselves, whether it's their talent, whether it's their gift of gab to talk their way into more than what they should get, whatever that skill or skills may be. You want to maximize that dollar, just like you and I do. So I'm never upset at a player that wants to get every penny out of but I am definitely that it is the responsibility of the organization to say, no, we're not going to do that because it's not what's the best interest for us. Players are supposed to get their money, and then once they've secured that contract, then they worry about team. Yeah, you don't worry about team when it's contract day. None of those dudes are going to pay their bills. So for us to sit up and say he should take less money, he should restructure and he should take less, that's insane. I don't know why people say that. And usually people that restructure, just little FYI and word to the wise, if you pay attention to those restructure, guys who restructure don't take less money. They get more. They get more in guarantees if they don't get anything else. They get guaranteed more money. Okay, they're going to take a little less this year to give you some cap relief. So maybe you can get in another player under the cap. But all they did was kick that money down the road and guaranteed it where maybe they had a contract. Like, I want to use this as an example because I know his numbers. Jimmy Garoppolo. Jimmy Garoppolo has been paid all of his guaranteed money on his salary. He is left with about, I think it's 26 and 27 million on his deal. He has a signing bonus that we owe him that will go on our cap. $2.5 million is all that's left, but he's already got that money. He's got all of his guaranteed dollars. If we cut Jimmy Garoppolo today, the only thing that hits our cap is $2.5 million. If we trade Jimmy Garoppolo, that same $2.5 million, we're still responsible for it, because no matter whether you have the player's contract or not, you were always responsible for the money you have given him. So he already has the signing bonus. We are responsible for it. That's how it works. So I'm not saying trade Jimmy Garoppolo. I'm just saying that is the way it works. And it doesn't make sense for us to talk about, unless we're sold on Jimmy Garoppolo is going to be our quarterback for the next 2, 3, 4 years. You don't turn around and give somebody that you've got on a non-guaranteed contract guaranteed money.
Yep.
That's not smart either from a business perspective. If you're thinking that you might want to move off of this guy, you give yourself that flexibility. Why would you go away from that? So notice D Ford's contract. Everybody, off of D Ford. Oh, he's always hurt. Oh, man, you better look at that contract. D Ford ain't going nowhere. Yeah, we owe him money and we have guaranteed dollars wrapped up in that guy. If he was cut, do you know that if we cut him this year, he would count more against the salary cap cut
then we keep him
than he would if he was sitting on the sideline injured.
Yep.
So you don't want to do that. I mean, I know that people just say it and it's all emotion and it's all, but when it comes down to it, the two things that owners, I mean, you've got owners with this tons and billions of dollars and infinite amounts of money, but the bottom line is, in the NFL, you have a hard salary cap. You cannot go a penny over that. And people act like, well, you cut this, you trade this, you trade. Sometimes some of that money is tied to you because of the way those contracts are written. So if the contract is written where, this guy had a 5-year deal, but he had a $40 million signing bonus. Well, on that 5-year deal, you got to pay out, you prorate that over 5 years on any signing bonus can be prorated up to 5 years. And that $40 million would be $8 million per year. It doesn't matter whether he's on your team or not. You could trade him the day after it. You are still on the hook for that $40 million. And a lot of times, I think even with this new CBA, I think that that money comes payable a lot faster if you get rid of them, especially if you cut them.
Yep.
Yeah, it's due all that year. So you go from owing him $8 million on your cap hit to owing him 40 overnight. But trades kind of work. Sometimes they let you spread it out. Retirements, they let you spread it out. So yeah, when we talk about these things, we come from a position of a fan. We really need to see it all.
Yeah, I agree. I just realized one of my errors, but oh well. I meant to put button, I put bottom. Anyway, yeah. To what Nate is saying, with D Ford, just to echo back on what he said, even if he gives us half of the season or a few games, he's going to cost us the same or less to have him on the roster. Now, if he retires because he's knows that he can't play anymore, that's a whole different situation. But
even a trade would be beneficial.
But who's going to trade for him?
Who's going to take that deal? It would be insane.
Maybe the Saints. Maybe the Saints.
They
did it once.
The Saints, they were kind of crazy to take that off our hands. And you know what? A lot of people were mad. We took a garbage player that's always hurt for him. I like
Alonso. He was
Kiko Alonso. But Kiko Alonso's contract's up at the end of the year. What we were doing was we were getting off that contract.
Yep.
I'm surprised we didn't have to give them something in that deal.
And they gave us a 5th rounder to take him off our hands. We should have gave them a 5th rounder, to be honest.
If you ask me, I agree. Just to get that contract off our hands. I mean, the final tally with Quan Alexander was he played 13 games for us. We paid him $23 million for 13 games.
Yeah, that's.
I mean, that's off-ball linebacker. Yeah. That's terrible. You don't pay an off-ball linebacker that much, Guys that play middle linebacker, if they've got some pass rushing going on too, and that's usually like a 3-4 defense more so, we get pass rushing linebackers. You're not really going to see that in a 4-3 too much. And you got to have some excellent coverage skills to go along with. You got to be able to tackle. That's not his strong suit, never was. When we signed him, we knew he couldn't tackle.
Yeah. We had a need at that particular time. We didn't know what we had in Fred Warner. We didn't have a Greenlaw yet. So at that point, I can see why they went that direction with him.
I don't.
Well, you don't have to. I can see why they went. You don't have to agree why they did it, but they wanted to structure that defense. Unfortunately, they did pay a lot for him, but they finally realized what they had in Fred Warner and Greenlaw, and they were able to. John Lynch was able to talk to the Saints, and the Saints were willing to take over his contract, which that is great for us, regardless of what happens with him. And then they gave us a 5th. And then the way it was set up is it could have been a 5th this year or next year. But K1 did enough, and thank you, K1, before he got hurt, and I don't wish injury upon no one, but he did enough for us to get that 5th rounder this year. So I wish him the best. I wish him a speedy recovery. But I'm glad he's gone. And I know a lot of you guys were upset because we got rid of a linebacker of his stature because of his name and blah, blah, blah. But the thing is, you're looking at it from the standpoint as a fan, an emotional one to be a fact. But you got to look at it in the business. Yeah. You got to look at, we're fans, yes. But you got to be logical and reasonable to understand the business side of it as well. And understand that this is not fantasy football or this is not Madden, where you can just get any player you want to build up a all-star roster. You got to look at what fits financially within the structure of the team. And so what he was getting paid for the production that he was giving was not good. If he would have been an all-pro linebacker like Fred Warner, even then it was still too much. But at least we can swallow the. At least I can swallow the pill, saying okay. But he was not worth what he was getting paid. So I am one. I'm pretty sure Boston Hater. No, I'm sure Boston Hater is not upset that he left. And thank you, New Orleans Saints, for taking him off our back and giving us a 5th rounder. I appreciate that.
Definitely.
And back to Fred Warner. Congratulations to Fred Warner for his first All-Pro. I mean, listen.
Hopefully,
for Fred Warner, this is the best opportunity. Going into the new, listen, he's an All-Pro now.
Yes and no.
Money-wise, it's definitely yes.
No.
Okay, clarify why no in your opinion, and then I'll tell you my
salary cap. Salary cap is going to hurt a lot of guys, and he might be one of them. The salary cap is, you're going to see these guys that are making high-priced money. You're going to see guys getting cut that you would never imagine get cut. Watch. I mean, we just got to wait for there's going to be some weird things happening. I mean, this has happened before. And those of us that remember when the salary cap was dropped, back what was it, around 2003, 4, somewhere up in there. I can't remember exactly, but the salary cap was dropped, and there was a lot of guys that were high dollar guys that were just cut.
There were casualties of the situation that were at hand. Yeah,
and in his situation, he's under contract. He's gonna maybe be looking at what the market value is for him, but the market value is based on the availability of funds. If you take the salary cap and push it down $23 million, which is exactly what's happening, the funds aren't available. So, $16, $17 million a year linebackers might not be the order of the day.
Yeah. And when I said making an All-Pro, it's not, I understand the whole situation. This is a whole bizarre year with the COVID-19 and everything going down. I'm just saying that, not that the team already didn't know what they had in Fred Warner, but he's adding to his resume. If you said, if they don't sign him this year because of the situation, it doesn't hurt him to be an All-Pro. It just helps him for next year. And if he becomes an All-Pro next year and the direction that he's going, that's just going to it's always good to add to your resume. He don't have to cash in this offseason, but he has it in his resume, in his arsenal for when the time is right. He can take his get out of jail free card or pass go and use it. That perspective, that's what I meant. But you're right.
Oh, absolutely.
You're right about this year. They can't afford to give it to him, even if he deserves it.
Yeah. He would have to go after the security and take a number that was lower than what he's probably deserving of. And if he chose to do that, I mean, I'm a fan. I'm not mad, but I like to see guys get their money too. So yeah, right, I'm hoping that he can back that up with another I hope he can back that up with another All-Pro year next year.
Absolutely. Good night, Don. Thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in, Jayla and Ariel. Have fun in Monopoly. Let me know next time who wins. Remember, no cheating. Otherwise, you'll have to go over to the New England Patriots. So you don't want to do that. Good night. Thank you for watching in. But yeah, definitely. I think definitely Fred Warner is heading in the right direction, man. And I can't wait to see Dre Greenlaw continue to follow in his footsteps. This team could most likely is going to look very different start of the 21 season than the 2020 ending, because if Robert Saleh, when he accepts a job as a head coach on a team, he's not just going to go and says, okay, everybody, thank you for hiring me here. I'm gone. Bye-bye. he's going to take some coaches with him because he has to establish his staff as well. So he's going to take some coaches with him that he's built rapport with, that he has a relationship, that he's going to take some coaches that are going to follow him. Maybe Jason Verrett follows him. That's a possibility. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't want that to happen, but that's a possibility that can happen.
It is.
Sherman for sure, but that's okay. Because I only would take Sherman back as a safety. And if you don't think he's a safety type of player, then bye-bye. That's the only way I would take. I won't take him back as a corner anymore.
Absolutely not.
So we're going to, I know a lot of you guys, not to go all over the place, but I know a lot of you guys are talking about quarterbacks, drafting. And we'll talk about that in future episodes. But you got to think about the defense. You got to think about the scenario that might take place in our defense. We may need to draft a corner. So, but that's still too early to tell. We're going to have to see what happens in free agency, and we can definitely get into it. But I just wanted to throw that in there for all those quarterback hungry fans, which I understand your frustration. I understand your whatever, but you got to look at the whole thing. We may lose a lot of players and a lot of coaches, and we might have to rebuild in that area. So I'm interested to see what happens when the domino effects drops. As soon as Saleh accepts a job, and you'll start seeing everything falling right out into place right after. And real quick, to talk about Katie Sawyer. As many of you guys heard, her and the San Francisco 49ers mutually decided to part ways. I've been hearing a lot of Niner fans saying that the Niners are messed up. Why did they cut her? Because I'm not going to say that. Because they're just misinformed. The proper way I can say it.
Okay, well, they're not misinformed. She was a receivers coach. From what I see, a very good one. And there was no clear path to a promotion for her, and she'd been there 4 years. Yep. So I understand that she doesn't see a path for.
She wants to move up.
And so she wants to go somewhere else where she can potentially have an opportunity to move up. And it's not here. And that doesn't have anything to do with the Niners per se. They're the ones that gave her the opportunity to be a coach. She's the first female coach in the history of the NFL, as a matter of fact. And the first position coach. And also the first LGBT coach as well. So, where are the Niners messed up in that?
Yeah, no, this is
where they're complacent. What other franchise has given an opportunity like that? So it makes the Niners messed up?
Yeah, no, this is where the point. That's the point that I was trying to make with them is that they mutually parted ways. It's not like she got fired or let go. Didn't. They sat down and talked. Kyle Shanahan, I'm pretty sure they sat down and they probably looked at everything and says, you know what, we have a great. And Wes Walker, a receiver coach, she doesn't see no advancement here. She's going to pursue other areas. And a lot of people say, well, if she's going to go follow Robert Saleh and be her receiver, you don't know that for sure. She wants to look at all her options out there, and now she can. She couldn't do it when she was in contract. Now she can. So the Niners did her a solid by allowing her to go out and find herself a better position. Every coach that's ever coached, goals are always to get promoted. Nobody wants to stay in a certain position unless you love it, but that's very unusual. Every coach wants to get promoted and eventually become a head coach. And why would you get in their way of doing that? So I think the Niners did a great job, and I think that's why they had that mutual parting. And I wish her the best of luck. She did a great job, and she deserves. Whoever hires her is going to hire a great coach. And regardless if she's female or male or nothing, just her coaching skills, she's a great coach, man. So I wish her the best wherever she goes. And thank you for your services while you were here in the San Francisco 49ers. So moving on. I know, and I got to make sure I say this clear because you'll say, just, I don't care, as long as he gets hired. But what team do you think are really considering, and I know this is speculation, you don't know, but what team do you think, let me rephrase it. What team do you think is a better fit for Saleh?
Who cares?
I knew that was going to be the answer.
Goodbye.
I know. For the sake of the podcast.
The podcast is a Niners podcast. He's not going to be the Niners head coach, so who cares?
Just for that, I hope he goes. I hope he stays.
Going.
Oh man,
I can't wait. I can't wait for third-round draft picks.
I can't wait for a podcast if he stays.
and don't let the door hit you on the way out, Robert. I cannot adjust Saleh.
What happened?
Bye.
Oh, you talking Robert? Oh, okay. My bad. I thought you were talking about Robert Hastings, Roberto. I thought he made a comment. You're telling him to leave.
No.
Robert Saleh. Yeah. Got you. That's a huge drop, right? About it, right? Boston Hater. These guys won't get the normal.
And I'm sure he's talking about the normal money. And he did say that on the next line. So yes, yeah.
Oh, okay. Here we go. Let me finish it off.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And Eric says, and Kovic isn't going away, so the NFL will have to find a way to drive in the salary.
No, you're going to fill the stands with COVID, and they're just going to go for it. That's 2021.
You're gonna walk. They're gonna if they have some advanced equipment where they can check you for COVID, man. By the way, I finally got a COVID. Man, that thing is. Whew. If you guys haven't had a test for COVID,
great.
Man, I didn't cry or justify anything, but
I have them every week.
No, thank you. I mean, if I had to, I would.
I have them every week. Come on, man. It's no big deal.
I don't know about you, Nick, Boston Hater, but I had a tube down my throat all the way to my stomach, and it went through my nose. So to me, that
wasn't the COVID. No, that wasn't the COVID.
No, that wasn't COVID. But I'm saying that's a little bit more excruciating than a little Q-tip.
Yes.
So if I can handle that, that's what my wife told me, by the way. Hey, don't pussy up. Sorry for the words. Go and get it done. You had the worst done to you, and you handle it like a champ. After she said that, what can I do, man?
Go in there and man up.
Man up. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I did. It wasn't painful. It was discomfort. It was discomforting. It wasn't painful. Like, oh my God, I'm in pain. It was just to me, it was discomforting. So I wouldn't want to get it every week. Definitely wouldn't. But if I had to,
I don't want to get it every week. I do.
Yeah, that's some. And some players get it every day, right?
Some of them quite a bit. Yeah.
Yeah. So
there it is, right there. There it is. Eric Davis. He will not be a Niner coach. So, peace.
Okay. Well, okay. Well, okay. So listen, it's all settled. Eric Davis said it. So I guess he knows something we don't. All right.
Oh no, he knows exactly what I know.
Well, okay.
Bye-bye.
Well, if he's gone, we get 2 third-round picks for him. If he stays,
yes,
I'm gonna have fun with a Boston Hater and Eric Davis on the show. Wait and see.
Hey, he's not getting all those interviews because he plans on staying, and those teams don't plan on him staying.
Well, I hate to say this, but they have to interview a minority coach. That's just the Rooney Rule.
Yeah, but that's not the Rooney Rule. I'm
just saying. I hate to say that, but
all those teams are not just doing that with him because they want him. Yeah,
I hope so. Because you know what? All said and done, he deserves the head coaching. I like him as a defensive coordinator. Can he do better? Yes. Has he gotten better since day one? Yes. Does he need to work on other areas? Yes. Like having Sherman on a zone when they're getting burnt by what's his name from the Cardinals. And you have 20 feet away from the receiver. What's his name? DeAndre Hopkins. He was, So there's some things he needs to learn, but He is deserving of a head coach. So if he does go and gets that job, kudos to him. I wish him the best where he goes, man. And with that said, okay, now, like you said, he's gone. If he's gone, who are the candidates that you would like, Boston Hater? And I want to hear the comments from the people as well that should come in and interview for that spot.
San Diego's fired defensive coordinator was actually
Gus.
Kyle Shanahan's first choice.
Yeah.
Gus.
So he's still there though. He's still under contract though, right?
He got fired.
Did he really?
Along with the head coach, he got fired.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, okay.
Also, you have the fired head coach of the Atlanta Falcons. So that's your second choice. And then, of course, our linebackers coach is probably another one. Those are my top three.
All right. Eric says, where's that comment? Eric
says, yeah.
No, but no. Wait. But okay, Eric, if we make that bet and you lose, it's not going to be my discount. You're going to pay the full amount of that jersey, my size.
Well, this is what you got to understand.
So I want him to understand that.
There's no. I think he's talking about me and you.
Oh,
yeah, I think that's what he means.
Well, it doesn't work with you because you can do it. So shut up.
Yeah. Well, but this is the thing, though.
I was trying to get out of it humbly by saying that.
I mean, I'm just looking at. That's not a bad idea. Nope, I kind of like
making no bet.
Are you scared?
Whatever.
I mean, hell, by the time I get it.
Oh, it went out, by the way, today. Finally.
What?
So it went out.
It ain't so.
Yep. It went out. But
oh man.
And then I put it talk about that. I paid an extra $5 because I put it in a flat rate box instead of the regular mailing box. And I got, but they told me to switch it. I'm like, just whatever.
Okay.
But I learned a lesson learned. Now I know which box to use for local California packages.
Javier Rios was lost and now he is found.
Yeah, he's back.
Welcome,
what's up,
Javier Rios.
Welcome back to the living.
Javier, when you couldn't find us, why didn't you just hit us in the DM? That's the first thing I would have thought to do, but hey. Okay, but I'm glad you found us.
Yeah. And Tom, no question is a dumb question. Unless you're really absurd on a question. But your question says, dumb question, why is Salah a minority? He is Lebanese. He's not white. In a nutshell, if you're not white, you're minority. Bottom line, unless you have a different say-so there, Boston Hater. Unless you have something different than what I just said, why he's a minority.
Yeah, that's why he's a minority, because he's Lebanese. Exactly.
That's correct. I don't mean no disrespect to the white. Maybe I said that too harshly, but the truth is, if you're not Caucasian, you're a minority.
Yes.
It is where it is at. So that's what makes him a minority, Tom. But it's not a dumb question. You don't get answers unless you ask a question. Now you got your answers. See, so it wasn't dumb, brother. Keep those questions coming, Tom. Thank you.
I'm going to say, Tom, it absolutely was not a dumb question, but I do disagree with Beto. There definitely are such thing as dumb questions, but that was not one. I'm
trying to encourage him. Stop.
Yeah, I mean, but he didn't ask a dumb question. It's not dumb.
Yeah, okay. At least to clarify. Yeah.
I don't want to discourage him. Definitely dumb questions.
Yeah, and, yeah. Of course, in life, yeah. But I know, I know the panel that is here right now won't ask dumb questions. No, once we grow and expand,
I don't see any names of people that would ask a dumb question.
Exactly
up there right now. So,
but once we expand, and we do want to expand, you will get those questions that will come in here and there. You'll be like, "What the heck?" Yeah. You know, and it's very obvious too. It's not like dumb to Boston Hater or dumb to us. I'm talking about just, a dumb question. Like, people ask some crazy questions that it just makes you scratch your head and like, huh? Really? Is that really a question? It's absurd. That's what it is. So, but nobody here does that. Everybody here is good. Your lighting's going out, huh? Your light?
No, I don't know why that keeps flickering
Yeah,
because
it
my
dims.
light is not flickering, but the light on this, I'm looking at it on the computer and the computer keeps flickering, but the light in my house is not flickering.
Oh,
It's
okay.
weird.
Well, I can't tell because I'm looking at you
See
with
that
the
right
chat.
there? Yeah. My light is the same. My
Okay.
light has not changed.
So it's your computer.
I'm looking at the computer and I see myself and it changes. That's
Well,
weird.
I hope you see yourself.
Yeah, but I see the lighting actually change, but the lighting's not changing in the room. It's weird.
Yeah, brother, you're right. I said that I opened up my show tonight with that same statement. Better late than never. I came late on tonight. Started about 17 minutes in, 7 o'clock, and that's was my opening statement. It's better late than never. So I agree with you, Javier. I'm glad you found it, but you're right. In the future, bro, you have our email. Our email is easy. It's N.W.A podcast@gmail.com. You have any questions? Send us an email. We'll get all four of us have access to that email. So one of us will get back to you if not all of us, because we don't know who's replying, but you will get a reply. So any question that goes to anybody. Anybody in the podcast watching us now or watching us in a replay, if you have any questions or concerns about the show, please hit us up at N.W.A podcast@gmail.com.
Okay, commercial over.
Yes. I'm good at it, bro.
Yeah, you're the commercial guy.
I'm gonna sell a car right now.
I'm gonna answer an Eric Davis question because there's probably other people here that ask you the same question. It says, so do we get our 3rd round pick this year if Saleh leaves or next? The answer to that is
both. Yeah.
You get a 3rd round. When you have somebody that takes a head coaching position and they are a minority and they leave your staff, you get a 3rd round pick for that year and the following year. So you get 2. Now, if it's another position that they go to, like let's say, for instance, it's let's say Martin Mayhew leaves and he becomes the GM of the team that Saleh goes to, or any other team for that matter, you will get a 3rd round draft pick for that as well. They will not give you the 3rd round draft picks. They won't let you pile them up the same year. So basically, that would be a 3rd round draft pick in a 3rd year.
Yeah, 2021, 22, and 23.
Yeah. Yes. So they won't let you get them the same year. Correct. They keep stacking year after year. You can only get one a year.
And real quick, thank you, Eric, for correcting me. You're absolutely right. The email is nwapodcast2021@gmail.com. My apologies.
I forgot all about that.
Yeah, me too. Thank you, Eric. Appreciate it, brother, having my back. And that's the correct one. I'm good. I'll hit the sub button to remind me. Now, how about fixing that O-line? They keep playing musical chairs. You want to answer that?
Okay. This is the topic for me.
Yep.
Because you know how I feel about this already. But now I'm going to say our O-line is just fine. Even with the injuries, we have a top 10 offensive line in the NFL. Our offensive line performed constantly. What people are seeing and what people just ride on so different is that we had atrocious quarterback play, and people are discrediting the offensive line based on terrible quarterback play. I remember just one game off the top of my head. It was the Washington Redskins. Our quarterbacks were sacked 5 times. In that 5 times, you know how many that the statisticians and Pro Football Focus and actually contributed to the offensive line of those 5? 1. We were pressured 17 times. uh, in 40 some, I don't remember the exact number. It was 40 plus though, 40 plus pass plays. And we were pressured 17 times. You know how many of those were contributed to our O-line? 4. Our quarterbacks are creating pressure. I can think of a couple of, I'm just using that game as an example, but this is a constant, between, Mullins especially, you know, um, and you have Mullins stepping back, uh, dropping back to pass, and everybody's blocked up perfectly. And he takes 2 steps forward, and a guy that's being double teamed in the pocket that he steps up into grabs him and holds onto his jersey and created pressure that wasn't there. All he had to do was just stay where he was. And when he was ready to throw, step into the throw. He didn't have to take 2 steps forward and let the guy grab him. I mean, and then he's got a totally clean pocket, and he'll run out to his right, and a guy that's blocked up perfectly has a direct path to him. You can't expect an offensive lineman who's blocking up a dude perfectly to know that I got a pocket here and this guy runs off to the right. And so what happens? The guy that he's blocking darts off to the right, and he's got off his block because of the damn quarterback.
Yep.
So our line was ranked either 9th or 10th. I don't remember which one it was out of 32. And that's even with all of the injuries and the musical chairs that we were playing at center and right guard. So it would be nice to kind of tighten those 2 positions up so that we got some consistency there. But other than that, we have 3 guys on our line that are solid. And I know people want to trash McGlinchey. This is another one. And I'm going to use that game as an example. McGlinchey had 2 absolutely atrocious reps in that game, and they were in the last series. He had one where Nick Mullins finally completed a pass to Kendrick Bourne. He got beat right around the end, and he grabbed the guy around the neck and held him. So they brought that play back. On the very next play, he gets put on skates and goes right back into the quarterback by Josh Sweat. And other than that, he played a great game. Probably one of his best games in pass protection he's had in his entire professional career. He had 2 bad plays, but people remember those plays and look how terrible he looked on those 2 plays and say, McGlinchey's trash. As a matter of fact, my co-host, sitting right here, was one of them. He called me and told
Eric,
me,
really, Eric? Was that Eric?
No, he's not on this
Florida
podcast.
Mike.
He's in the comments. It was not Florida Mike either. You know who it was. and I said, I want you to go back and I want you to watch McGlinchey in this
and
game.
I did. And I was wrong. Yeah. Absolutely wrong. When I saw tape on him.
Yeah. He is a good O-lineman. He's not he's not great, but he's good. He's an outstanding run blocker.
Yeah, he is.
One of the best in the game.
Yeah.
But he's a C+, B- pass protector. There's no shame in that. I would love to see him better. I mean, is that living up to a number 9 overall draft pick? No. But is it still better than probably 70% of the league? Yes. So
it's funny. The worst thing that could have happened to him, not financially, obviously, but to be drafted that high, because if he would have been drafted in the lower 20s, he would have been phenomenal of what he's doing now for that particular pick. So a lot of expectations comes with a high draft pick, and I think that's why a lot of people are being really critical of him. But if you really watch, somebody told me, when you watch a football game, turn the volume down so that you don't get persuaded by idiots that are calling the game. And you can see for yourself instead of being distracted based on the commenting of those idiots. And I did that. I think it was Florida Mike that told me. But no, it was the Boston hater. and I did it, and I was
I
able
haven't
to see
I
more
haven't watched
things,
a game with the commentation in years.
and I'm able,
It
I'm able to see much more with my own eyes because the commentating does take you away. They'll start talking about this, and you may think you see everything, but you don't. It is a distraction. When and that's too. If you have kids and everybody's moving around in your house, that's a distraction too. But if you can watch the game, possibly in a place where you're not distracted and you're watching just the game, you would be amazed at the detail that you see play in and play out when you're
yeah,
not being
um,
distracted by announcers.
yeah, because we have a tendency, whether we know it or not, and I found this out when I stopped, doing it, is we have a tendency to rely on them and kinda be in our own world while we're watching. We're not intently watching the game like we would if we were at the game, because when you miss something at the game, you just miss it. I mean, if you're socializing or whatever, you miss it. That's the way it is when you listen without the, you see what you see, it's there, it's tangible. It's not maybe it happened, that's what happened. But when they start talking, sometimes I wonder what some of those announcers what game they were watching.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
because that's not what I saw. I'm like, "Oh my god, you know what? This dude is just talking, he's an idiot." I mean, it's like, turn the game on, and the first thing I have to do is because of the way my TV system's set up, I've got these sound bars that automatically click on. I turn on the game, and the first thing I hear is Collinsworth's voice. Oh, man, I'm looking for man, I gotta turn that off. Where's my remote to turn off the sound? Because he's terrible.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Yeah, when
Troy
you have,
Aikman's not much better.
no.
And what's Troy Aikman's partner in crime? Um,
Oh,
um, Joe Buck.
Joe Buck. Yeah. Oh, that guy's an
Yeah.
idiot.
Yeah. I mean, you listen to these guys and they will paint a totally different picture
A lot of them are
of that
biased.
game.
They're biased, whether they want to
Well,
admit it or not. They are biased not only with the team, but a player. If they don't like a
mhm,
certain player, they won't give them the proper kudos. They'll work around it,
yeah.
and it's just
Yeah. And
unfair.
you know what? I also notice if a player is just beyond horrible, they will pick some so that they don't just trash him for the whole game. They will pick something about him that is his strongest attribute, even if that's not good, and just champion that.
Yeah, that's all false information, man.
Yeah.
When you're trash, you're
Mhm.
trash.
Yeah. Like Nick Mullins. Oh, he's quick to read things. He doesn't read anything. What the hell are you talking about? I mean, this guy is looking at one guy and he's staring him down. He's not reading. Yeah, it's crazy.
If you're referring to McClinchy,
McGlinchey.
it wouldn't hurt him.
Yes. I'm just gonna say that I don't know if that's the answer. He probably needs to go ahead and he probably just needs to go ahead and whatever the coaching staff says is best for him to go ahead and go with that and just do what I want him to do is work on his technique as it pertains to pass protection. I think he's already as good as it gets. Just keep working on what he's doing with the in the run game, and he's be just fine.
Yeah.
Uh, Amazon did a good job with the game. Cool features with Amazon stats. You know what? There was a game that I wish I would have been able to kind of just come and tell you guys about. And it's probably going to happen in this national championship game. So be on the lookout for it. On ESPNU, if you guys have that, you turn to that channel. There are no announcers. The only thing you hear, it's like you're at the football game. You'll hear the public address announcer, pass to number 17, Jones, good for 17 yards and a first down. Yeah.
As you would at a game.
Yeah, just like you're at the game. You don't hear anything else. And the viewing angle is the all 22, which means you can see all the players on the field, and the angle is right behind the quarterback. I think it's the best angle to see everything that's going on the field. And if
What
you
is
get
that?
an opportunity,
ESPNU?
ESPNU,
And how
yes.
does someone get it? Don't have it.
Usually it's, if you have ESPN, have it. But now, if you're one of those people that have the ESPN app on your telephone, or you have a Fire Stick or something like that, if your cable provider has ESPN, and most everybody does, if you have a streaming box, whether it's Fire Stick, Apple TV, Roku, any of those,
Yeah.
yeah, if you put that ESPN app on there, and you have to sign in with the credentials from your cable provider, Charter, whoever your cable provider is, AT&T, Uverse, uh, whoever it may be. And
What
when you
happens if someone's like me that doesn't have any cable, but wants to sign in through the app on ESPN? Can they do it, or do you have to be part of a cable? Because I don't use cable. There's no cable in my house. I haven't had it for years.
Yeah. Okay, but you have all kinds of workarounds, and you yourself will find it with no problem.
Yeah, I got to figure
But
it out. But I want to get a
yeah,
bit of, but for people that can't do that, is what I'm saying.
people that can't do it, there's only one other way to do that. You can either um, do one of two things: find a family member or friend who's willing to give you their
Oh,
information to
okay.
sign into it, or the other thing is, if you are one of those people that is really into, all the different sports and having that sports package. Oh, by the way, before I even get to that, Verizon subscribers, um, there are certain service plans that give you free unlimited ESPN
Oh, there you
Plus,
go. Okay, see, there you
Hulu,
go. That's an option.
Hulu, and Disney Plus.
See, there you go.
So
That's good. See,
look
that's
for the
good to
right
know.
service plan. That'll give you one. And it might, if you got an unlimited plan, it's probably going to cost you another $10 a month. You'll love it. That's one of the better ways. If you don't have that as an option, there's always, I think for a year of ESPN Plus, you pay, what is it, $60 for a year of it. And you'll have access to all of the ESPN networks, including ESPN Plus.
Good to know. And if you don't have it or have no way of getting it and you want to watch the Bears playoff game, they will be televised on Nickelodeon. Believe it or not. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. So I don't know how that's going to go,
Wow.
but yeah, that's who's going to be broadcasting the Bears and Saints game. Is it the Saints that playing? Yeah, the Saints.
Yeah, the Saints.
I figured it's going to be a cartoonish type of game anyway. So why not put it?
Hopefully
on that
the
network?
Saints will beat the brakes off the Bears.
They are, brother.
Yeah.
There's no way the Bears
I
can
hope so.
compete. They can
They
compete.
shouldn't.
They shouldn't even be there anyway. But we got it. We have reached our hour for the night, a little bit over, but we started a little bit late, so we give you a few minutes more. But we just want to appreciate everybody that watched tonight, everybody that stepped in and participated with us. Thank you for watching the N.W.A podcast, joining myself, the Boston Hater, and Eric Davis on the E-Man on the comments. We are live every Monday and Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Unless we run a little bit late, that's why it's so important to smash that like button, hit the notification bell so that you will be notified each and every time we go live, and do not miss out on any of our lives. Feel free to share this live on 49er pages or anywhere that there are Niner fans. And if you may ask, why hit the like button? Because the more likes we get on every show that we do, the more that YouTube will put us on their timeline, so other red and gold faithful can see our lives and they can subscribe to our channel. So we would appreciate that if you can do so. Before we go, is there anything last words you want to say there, Boston Hater?
No, not really. Just if you can at all experience that ESPN Plus, get on that ESPNU and get a look at that national championship game that way. and it'll give you a whole new perspective on how, seeing football without, because it's a lot easier than seeing at the game. At the game, there's a whole other level of distraction as well. And it's always fun to go to the game, but being able to see it that way, it's just a whole different. And when you walk away from watching a game like that, you're more knowledgeable about what you just watched. Much more.
It's definitely worth it, man. It's definitely. I mean, I haven't seen it through ESPNU as Boston Hater said, but just turn. And if you don't have the option to do that, at least turn the volume off on your TV, for the TV channel that you do watch the game on, to give you a little bit more feel of the game. And if you are able to do it, great. If you have a friend, which I think I do, I'll be hitting them up soon. But if you have a friend out there, hit them up and and try to enjoy it in a better capacity, as the Boston Hater said, so that you can get more, you can see more, and you're able to break down. And if you don't have the NFL, coaches corner, they call it. If you can get that, that's great to see when you do the breakdown of every game. You can see in detail what players do. It's fun to have. If you are able to afford it and can get it, I would encourage you to do so.
Oh, Coach's Film on the NFL app.
.com, yeah.
It's, what is that called? It's called NFL Replay. They changed the name of it.
Yeah, they did.
It used to be called NFL Rewind or something.
Yeah.
Hell, I have it and I don't even know the name of it.
But it's on NFL.com. It's where you watch all the games.
Yeah.
And it's condensed too. So you can watch it in a mini condensed. You can watch the whole game without the commercials. It's kind of nice to have that as well.
See every down, every snap in 45 minutes or less.
Yeah, definitely. So it's something to get to have. So look it up if you guys can have it. It's a nice tool to have, and you will be able to enjoy it. Well, with that said, I appreciate each and every one of you for tuning in to the N.W.A. podcast. You guys are amazing. Thank you for watching this podcast. Share, invite your friends, and let everyone know about the N.W.A. podcast. Thank you for watching. From myself and the Boston Hater, have a wonderful, blessed night, and we'll see you on our next podcast. Good night.